As we close out February, winter isn't done yet. 3 back-to-back storms are about to sweep across the country. From the northern plains to the northeast, millions will face snow, ice, and rain starting Saturday through midweek. Unlike last week's single blizzard, this is rapid fire, series, each storm with its own twist. The first brings light snow, the second threatens dangerous ice, and the third mixes rain and lingering wintry weather. With little time to recover between rounds, travel could quickly become hazardous, and power outages are possible. We'll break down the timing, impacts, and who needs to be on alert. Staying informed is your best defense. Let's dive into what you can expect from this triple threat. Here's how to prepare for the days ahead. Why all this wild weather now? It's a question that's on everyone's mind as we watch the skies darken and the forecasts shift hour by hour. The answer lies high above us, where powerful forces are at work, shaping the weather we experience on the ground. This isn't just another winter storm. This is the result of a dramatic atmospheric showdown. It's the classic late winter battle. Cold, dense Canadian air, heavy with Arctic chill, surges southward, while warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico pushes north. These two air masses are like opposing teams on a field, each bringing their own energy and characteristics. The Canadian air is frigid and dry, while the Gulf air is humid and mild, loaded with moisture, ready to fall as precipitation. Where these air masses meet, storms ignite, sometimes unleashing heavy snow, other times coating everything in a dangerous glaze of ice or drenching cities with cold rain. The type of precipitation depends on the complex layering of temperatures from the clouds all the way down to the ground. A shallow layer of warm air above freezing can turn snow into sleet or freezing rain before it hits the surface, making every storm unique and unpredictable. The boundary between these air masses, known as a front, is constantly shifting, sometimes creeping north, sometimes plunging south. As it moves, it acts like a conveyor belt, spawning new storms along its path. Each shift in the front's position can mean the difference between a quiet evening and a full-blown winter storm. Even a small change in the boundary's position can flip a forecast from rain to snow, or vice versa. Imagine waking up to rain, only to see it turn to heavy snow by afternoon, all because the front has nudged just a few miles in one direction. This razor-thin margin is what makes these storms so challenging to predict. That's why predicting these storms is so tricky and why updates matter. Meteorologists are constantly analyzing new data, updating models, and issuing alerts as the situation evolves. A forecast can change rapidly, and staying informed is crucial for safety and planning. Each disturbance rides this boundary, tapping into the sharp contrasts in moisture and temperature to fuel the next round of wild weather. Satellite images and radar animations reveal these systems swirling and intensifying as they move across the continent, drawing energy from the clash below. The result? A volatile setup where just a few degrees can mean the difference between a winter wonderland and a hazardous ice storm. Temperatures hovering near freezing make every forecast a nail-biter, with impacts that can change from block to block. We're watching these temperature battles closely, tracking every shift and analyzing every update. The stakes are high, and the outcome can affect millions, whether it's school closures, travel disruptions, or power outages. Your local forecast could change fast, sometimes within minutes. That's why it's so important to stay tuned to the latest updates, check your weather apps, and be ready to adapt your plans as conditions evolve. As the first flakes begin to fall and the clouds gather, let's take a closer look at how this first storm unfolds, and what it could mean for the days ahead. The first storm arrives Saturday, a fast mover, more nuisance than knockout. It starts in the northern Rockies and high plains, spreading light snow eastward into the upper Midwest by evening. Most areas will see less than 3 inches, enough to slick up roads but not shut things down. By Sunday morning, snow reaches the interior Northeast, with cities like Pittsburgh and Albany getting a fresh coating. Major East Coast cities may see a dusting, but warmer air limits accumulation. This storm sets the stage. Cold, snow-covered ground, just in time for the more dangerous system right behind it. Stay cautious on the roads, but the real trouble is still to come. Let's track the storm's journey. This Clipper system races from western Canada into the northern plains by Saturday morning. Bismarck, Rapid City, Minneapolis, and Green Bay will see quick bursts of powdery snow. Visibility drops, roads slick. Most spots get 1 to 3 inches, just enough for road crews to stay busy. As the storm crosses the Great Lakes and heads for the northeast, higher elevations could see slightly more. By Sunday, it weakens near the Atlantic, leaving only light snow for the I-95 corridor. Mostly a wintry scene, not a major disruption. The real impact: cold, snow-covered ground, primed for the next, much stronger storm. The first act is over. The main event is about to begin. Here's what's next. The second storm in this sequence is the one that truly demands your attention, a formidable system arriving late Sunday night, bringing with it a volatile mix of snow, rain, and most concerning of all, a dangerous layer of ice. Unlike the first round, which may have seemed manageable, this storm is poised to deliver a much more severe punch, especially as temperatures hover right around freezing. As darkness falls, the risk increases, with icy precipitation accumulating on every exposed surface, turning roads, sidewalks, and even your front steps into hazardous zones. This powerful system forms along the same cold-warm boundary as its predecessor, but this time, it's supercharged by a surge of Gulf moisture. That extra moisture acts like fuel, intensifying the storm's strength and making it far more hazardous. As the warm, moist air collides with the entrenched cold, the result is a sprawling, dynamic storm front, capable of producing a wide variety of wintry weather, sometimes all at once. The storm's main targets are the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and stretching into the Mid-Atlantic. Here, the dividing line between rain, snow, and ice, often called the rain-snow-ice line will be the key factor in determining who faces the worst impacts. This line can shift with even a slight change in temperature or storm track, so communities just miles apart could see dramatically different conditions. North of the storm's path, cities like Chicago, Detroit, and Pittsburgh are bracing for heavy, wet snow, potentially 3 to 5 inches or more. This isn't the light, powdery snow that's easy to shovel. It's dense and moisture-laden, making it tough on both people and infrastructure. Snowplows will be working overtime and travel could quickly become difficult or even dangerous as the snow piles up. South of the snow zone, cold rain will fall, but it's the narrow band in between that poses the greatest threat. A corridor of freezing rain and sleet. Here, precipitation falls as rain but freezes on contact, creating a slick, invisible glaze on roads, sidewalks, and anything exposed to the elements. This is where the storm earns its reputation as a heavy hitter. Even a quarter-inch of ice is enough to bring daily life to a standstill. Power lines can sag and snap under the weight, plunging neighborhoods into darkness and cold. Roads become nearly impassable, with vehicles abandoned and emergency crews stretched thin. Utility workers will be on high alert, ready to respond to outages and downed lines. But restoration could take days if the ice accumulates quickly. The exact track of the storm remains uncertain, and that will ultimately decide who gets snow, rain, or a crippling layer of ice. That's why it's so important to stay tuned to the latest forecasts and weather alerts. A shift of just a few miles could mean the difference between a manageable winter event and a dangerous disruptive ice storm. If you live near the I-70 corridor, this is the storm you need to prepare for. Stock up on essentials, make sure you have a way to stay warm if the power goes out, and avoid unnecessary travel once the storm begins. Emergency crews are already gearing up, but your best defense is to be ready before the worst hits. The threat from ice is real and can be devastating. Let's take a closer look at why this particular storm's icy punch is so serious, and what you can do to stay safe as it approaches. One of the most significant dangers with Storm 2 is a phenomenon meteorologists call overrunning. This occurs when a mass of warm, moist air is forced to glide up and over a shallow layer of cold air that's trapped right at the surface. Imagine a blanket of cold air hugging the ground, while above it, warmer air streams in. As this warm air rises over the cold, it brings moisture with it, setting the stage for a hazardous weather event that can catch many off guard. In this setup, rain falls from the warmer air aloft, but as it descends, it passes through the cold layer near the ground. The raindrops don't have enough time to freeze in the air, so they remain liquid until they hit the surface. The moment they touch anything that's below freezing, roads, sidewalks, tree branches, or power lines, they freeze instantly, coating everything in a dangerous, nearly invisible glaze of ice known as freezing rain. Even a thin layer of this ice can turn everyday activities into serious hazards. Walking becomes a struggle, as sidewalks and driveways turn slick and treacherous. Driving is even riskier. Vehicles can lose traction in an instant, leading to accidents and pileups. When the ice accumulates, it adds weight to tree limbs and power lines, causing them to snap or collapse, which can lead to widespread power outages and blocked roads. The area at greatest risk from this overrunning event is along and just north of the I-70 corridor. This includes major cities like Indianapolis, Columbus, and Pittsburgh. These communities are right in the path where the cold air and warm moist air are most likely to collide, making them especially vulnerable to dangerous icing conditions. What makes this situation even more challenging is how narrow and unpredictable the icing band can be. Sometimes, just a shift of 2 or 3 degrees in temperature can move the zone of freezing rain miles to the north or south. This means that one neighborhood could be coated in ice, while another just a few miles away sees only rain or sleet. Forecasting exactly where the worst icing will occur is extremely difficult, and conditions can change rapidly. That's why it's absolutely critical to stay updated with the latest forecasts and weather alerts. Check your local weather app, tune in to trusted meteorologists, and pay attention to emergency notifications. Conditions can change quickly, and being informed can make all the difference in how you prepare and respond. If you live in or near the potential ice zone, take steps now to prepare. Make sure you have supplies in case of a power outage, flashlights, batteries, and a backup heat source if possible. Avoid unnecessary travel, and if you must drive, go slowly and leave plenty of space between vehicles. Even experienced drivers can lose control on black ice. This phase of the storm is often the most dangerous and disruptive. Emergency crews may have difficulty reaching those in need, and power outages can last for hours or even days. The combination of ice, wind, and cold can create life-threatening situations, especially for those who are unprepared. So, as this storm approaches, stay ready, stay informed, and above all, stay safe. Your preparation and caution can help protect you and your loved ones from the dangers of overrunning and freezing rain. The third storm arrives Tuesday, bringing mostly rain as warmer air surges north. For many, this rain will help melt leftover snow and ice, speeding up cleanup. But heavy rain on frozen ground can cause localized flooding and rising rivers. Some valleys, especially in central and eastern Pennsylvania, may still see dangerous freezing rain due to trapped cold air. North of I-90, a bit of snow is possible, but for most, this storm signals winter's retreat. The Gulf air finally wins, pushing the cold back north and ending this relentless stretch. Watch for flooding and lingering ice in stubborn cold spots. The worst is nearly over. Preparation is key. Here's your winter weather checklist. Stay informed, monitor local forecasts, and have multiple ways to get alerts. Charge devices, gather flashlights and batteries, and prep for possible power outages. Stock up on non-perishable food and water for at least 72 hours. If you must travel, keep your gas tank half full and your car winter ready. Blankets, scraper, snacks, and water. If stranded, stay with your vehicle and run the engine occasionally for heat. Clear the exhaust pipe first. Use salt on walkways and wear boots with good traction. Take breaks when shoveling and check on neighbors, especially those who need extra help. A little preparation goes a long way. Let's look at how we can support each other. These storms will test our patience in our communities, but they also bring out the best in us. Road crews, utility workers, and first responders will work around the clock. Let's help by staying off the roads and giving them space. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly, or those needing assistance. Share information, offer help, and stay positive. Small acts of kindness build resilience. Together, we can weather any storm. Spring is just around the corner. Stay safe, stay warm, and look out for one another. We'll keep tracking the storms and keep you updated every step of the way. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, take care.